Uh, it's kind of dark out here. Yeah, I'm taking that night walk, and I'm walking. You can probably just see my glasses, right? I am. Let me see. It's dark out here. Jesus. See if I can get to the light. I hope you guys can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I can definitely not hear myself. That's definitely cannot hear myself. Anyway, just came on here just to take my walk. You know, after you finish eating, it's good to take a walk. Yeah, I got a little light over here. Yeah, we got a little light over here. What's going on? That bad. That is very looks very, very bad. Yeah, very, very bad. Salud, salud, salud. Bondo, what's going on? Miss you, my brother. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. And I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Put a one in if you can hear me. You can hear me? I don't know. I can't hear myself, but I'm hearing the dog. Let me get to the light. Got very poor reception. Yes, loud and clear. Ah, que bueno, que bueno. Yeah. So, you know, after I eat, I like to take a lot of walk. It's a little, it's beautiful out here. It's not, it's humid, but it's not that, you know, like that very hot humid you get in Florida. Very good, mi hermano, very good. Yes, I miss you, Bondor. Um, remember, we used to meet at that other podcast, but you walk every day? Beautiful. That's what's up. Walk every day, beautiful. It's good for the heart. It's good for your testosterone also. Leg muscles. Leg muscles. Good for your testosterone. Yeah, very good, very good. You know, at our age, we need to be walking. Especially when you eat too, it's good for the digestive system. You get everything going on. Good for the mind. Yeah. I'm not gonna walk too far because let me tell you, it's dark out here. Even though I like it, you know, but it's quiet. Quiet and dark. Let me see if I get some light. I got a little. Let me see what. Got a little bench over here. A little bit of light. I could chill over here for a little bit. My reception is not that great. It looks kind of fuzzy. I'm in my other phone because my other phone is charging. But in my phone, and I just want to say I appreciate everyone that's gonna view this. Also, I appreciate my brother Bond Dog here. Appreciate you know you, and I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best and trying to share again, share information. I've been doing okay. Been laying back a lot, writing a lot. You know, like I said, I want to finish. I'm writing sort of like a nonfiction novel about the stories of the Bronx, New York, especially La Rumba, you know, Spanish people, the culture. So I incorporated these stories, but I'm writing it in a script writing, screenwriting type of format. So when you actually read it, and one day I'll pull up a little chapter of it so you can see what kind of because it allows you to more imagine the scenery. I want you to imagine the scenery. I want to describe more because it's a screenwrite. So imagine the scenery. You know, when you write a novel, you you know the feelings. You know, you're in the mind of the character, and the character is relating to feeling. But this novel, it's dialogue between the many characters, going dialogue back and forth, and it set the scenery. You know, I set the scenery for you, and I decided to put in that format because you know I'm not gonna say, but there are a couple of there was one movie house I was interested in you know in checking it out. You know, saying that script. You know, but I don't know if that's you know still if that's, that connection is still available today. That was about a good 4 years ago, and so it took me a long time to write this. Man, I've been writing this since. I'll tell you right now, I've been writing this for almost 10 years. And then I decided to jump also and write about tones and frequency. That's another project that I got going writing. And I'm collecting a lot of information about tone, frequency, vibration. But now, since I'm doing a lot of, you know, podcasts about the spiritual podcast, on the metaphysics, so to say, the subsisting things and metaphysics. And since I'm going deeper and deeper into that, I wanted to incorporate that, into a book form. Because a lot of people, that had contacted me and says, "Man, I love your information. You have this in a book? You should write a book." You know what I'm saying? So I said, "Okay." So I embarked in that. So I got two projects going on at the same time. I have that script book, like the script book, that's called Un Verano en Nueva York, which means summer in New York. Tone, vibration, and frequency. I probably put it like tone, vibration, frequency, and spirituality. In spirituality, because of the, again, spiritual ritual. The ritualistic um act of working with tones and frequency and vibration. It's a constant thing, and to do something ritually. So in the book, I want to include a section in there. First of all, um, it's going to be like a offshoot, like a springboard for one of the chapters in my script, which is how, you know, as a youth, anybody remember, if you grew up in the 60s, especially in the 70s, when music became more conscious, more awareness, more of the metaphysical started coming out into the music. There was like an explosion, like the doo-wops, the stylistics, the delphonics, and you heard these songs, you know what I'm saying? And Stevie Wonder, you can extract certain ideas and concepts that were metaphysical, and spiritual. So there's a chapter in that, how that shaped and formed my character, my values and principles and character and personality, because that's what tones music, that have tones and frequencies. That's what it can do. We have to watch, we have to be cognizant, right, of the music that our children are listening to and the lyrics and stuff like that. I get on my son all the time because, I mean, man, his lyric, I write a lot of track. I do a lot of tracks for him. Like I'm practicing, editing and mixing and doing tracks for him and stuff like that. But his content, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I didn't grow up like that. When I listen to music, I listen to Stevie Wonder. I listen to the Stylistics, stuff like that, New Birth. I listen to music like that. It wasn't about, hitting that and smoking, drinking lean, or gangster, or going out there, violence. No. Only when not even in rock. To be honest with you, I used to listen to a lot of rock. Not even in rock. What I'm saying? But now the music has taken a turn. So those tones and frequencies, that shapes the character and values of our youth. You know what I'm saying? And not that, to say, oh, I am, an elder, and it's a different time, but still, um, there's still artists today that are that still um, took up the mantle and are still, writing, and the music, the writing still about metaphysical, concepts and stuff like that, metaphysical concepts, stuff like that. So in one of the chapters, I speak about that. How those lyrics, like for instance, Silix's. First time I ever heard the concept, "You are everything, and everything is you." That's you are everything, everything is you. Uh, um, um, God bless you. You make me feel brand new. The idea of renewing. And hey, love, open up the door. I'm in love, not loving you, but I'm in love. Open up the, so much music, so much. And also Marvin Gaye, a lot of Motown stuff later on. Um, they switched it, especially Stevie Wonder, man, Talking Books, great album. Finale, great. Songs in the Key of Life, you know what I'm saying? So that's artistry. That's, that's how, that shaped those tone frequencies, those vibrations, those lyrics that help shape my character. today. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've learned a lot. So, music sounds are carriers of consciousness, and so that's going to be in the book. And I show that also in the script because the vibration, the culture, the sound of that block, Shakespeare Avenue, that block in the Bronx, where you had an influx of a lot of Cubans and Puerto Ricans. You walked around that neighborhood, and what do you hear? Tung, 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 tung. You see a neighbor like something like this. If this was back in the Bronx, New York, and people out there in the street, guaranteed to be two guys playing congas, and one of these benches, and that's what you heard. You know what I'm saying? That was a cultural expression. That was through all. I did. We used to go to the park and play at night, and so we don't disturb anybody. Put on the block. We did that during the day because I really didn't co-sign on jamming rumba at night. I felt a little back off from that, and I even encourage a lot of the congueros not to do that because we had a lot of people that were working. They would get up early in the morning, so at night they just didn't want to hear the drums. But I spoke to a lot of my neighbors back then, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't mind when you out there because it just seems like when you play drum, and not to toot my own horn, pat my own back, but they said, bro, when you play, it's like it's different, you know, what you put, because remember, that's your character personality. You put that into the drums. You know what I'm saying? And they say, no, with you, I don't know. It just seems so artful. It just seems so peaceful, and you playing, and it's like a language. So I can, not that I go to sleep, but I can actually rest and listen to you play. But then there are other guys that gets on the lead on the quinto, and they play. People are just like, nah, 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 that's too much. That's too much. Can't. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Let me take a little walk. Again, I want to walk for my digestive system. It might go dark. Um, it'll go dark because, like I said, there's light posts, but my street's dark, dark, dark. But it's so quiet. I love coming to this section right here. Open up the gate because the flowers that we got here, you see the scent, and it's very relaxing, very, very relaxing. So, I'm a, let me backtrack. Let me go back on my podcast that I did. Um, I It was interesting because I got contacted by some sheiks, Moorish sheiks from Boston that are they're working on some stuff, and they really would like me to participate because I guess they saw me, my head wrap, and we are Moors, you know what I'm saying? And I showed them the book, Salagundi. We're Moors in the sense that that's one of the names, of the nationality, one of the names that we've been named. And if you come from the island, Caribbeans, you come from Latin America or here in the United States. And Salugandi was interesting when he says more, or like we say, amor. Amor means affection and stuff. So Moors for Morenos, those terms are very affectionate terms, saying that was used for people instead of negrito, but now they switched it around, Moreno y negrito were I don't like negro too much because of the O, negra. O mean the death, or the what do they call the omega or the O. But I kind of like lean more to moreno for more amor. You know what I'm saying? So linguistically, it go tied in. So I guess when I was, I showed them the book Salagundi from Prince Urubay. Man, very powerful. The first book I read, The Talisman, speaks a lot about the civilizations that these, again, Nigerian and Malian Moors spread throughout, especially in Europe, and they taught Latin stems from that. One day I'm gonna break that down to you, like the alphabet that we use and how all came out of of the tribes that were scholars and teaching, you know, in Europe, especially also in Andalusia. Andalusia, ande, again, it's a Mande word. It means traveler. And then but then you ask yourself, man, what motivated these people? Yeah, Bando, very interesting. I'm like, what motivated you to walk? Remember the hunter-gatherers walk, my federation walked. And what moved these people to walk? Well, you know that the Sahara at one time was a green Sahara. It was, the remnants of an older civilization because they had actually formed aqueducts within the Sahara. They found fish fauna and stuff like that, and traces, archaeology and anthropology found traces of a high civilization in that area, in the Sahara area, that desert. But then something happened. It became a desert, right? We'll speak about that later. And so people started to migrate out, back into the central and out to the north. And these tribes begin to migrate, you know what I'm saying? And, they brought, with them their teachings, philosophies, their teachings, and spread it all amongst, the Mauritania and Morocco over there, Algeria, all the way, and they walked. So you said it's what motivate Malian Moors to walk? And then I look at myself and I say, man, something? I one time walked from Brooklyn. Everybody know about New York, Brooklyn to boroughs. I walked from Brooklyn, Bushwick in Brooklyn, up to Williamsburg, into Manhattan, all the way straight up Manhattan on Fifth Avenue, all the way into the Bronx, on the, was it the 161st, 159th, 51st, that bridge behind Yankee Stadium, all the way up Grand Concourse, the whole walked. That's a very long, long walk. And you said, and you know what motivated me to walk? Was the doctrine, the fact, my affinity, my willpower, because I found something that was so treasurable and I believed in it, so treasurable, right? That I wanted to propagate it. I wanted to walk into neighborhoods and talk to my people and says, yo, look at this information, look. And then we're building a hall of knowledge, a school. And we're like, wow, you see that motivation and that walking? You still find religious groups here that walk. Look at the Mormons with the bicycles and certain Jehovah's Witnesses walking. Back then, I don't know about now, but what motivates people to walk? Then I'm saying, this Millennium Moors, Timbuktu, the amount of information that was in Timbuktu, in that university. So these people started to walk through the desert, walk through areas, and teaching and setting up universities out there. The students, after they're ready and they go out and they form a university out there. So this, I look at that and I say, wow, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? That people of this, in Africa was able to walk, and again, because of certain conditions, and then to go out there and having this willpower to share something to wherever they were going. Very powerful. I said, wow, man. So that's the energy that we have. That's the energy. And when you're in tune with, again, your etheric body is your body, right? That has your mind, is not your brain. The brain is the physical. The other part is the mind, right? The brain is the station that fuses these newts, these primordial, these particles, right? And then it fuses and creates this mind that creates concepts and ideas. These concepts and ideas, and also in the solar plexus, where that happens with that brain, you get your feelings and your emotion, willpower, and you know what I'm saying? And so that body, that etheric body, is where, It's very important. It's what drives your physical body. So when you also have to take care of it, just like you take care of your physical body, right? You also have to take care of your etheric body, And that's what we did as Sufis, in that school of thought, is that we're now feeding. You could feed the physical body, but now we were feeding the etheric body, feeding it with those, again, with the electromagnetic forces from the sun, and opening up channels, opening up these centers so as to allow these tones and frequencies in. You know, that's what my book is going to be about. It's going to be informational, it's going to be instructional, it's going to be also edutainment, and I want to keep it in that. I wrote that down in my notes. I put that on my wall and in my notes, that to focus and to keep it on that. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that, we're going to be able to share this with our children. You know what I'm saying? So when they have questions about this, and again, nurture the etheric body so that we have that energy to do things. Sometimes you say back and you say, I ain't got no energy to do this. I ain't got no energy to talk to this person. I ain't got no energy to move to. I don't even have the energy to be creative. Yes, because there's a blockage there. Remember, an etheric body, that those light, the etheric energy has blockage. And you have to work with that. That's doing shadow work. So fear, yeah, it's gonna block it. Grief, it's gonna deplete your energy. So I gotta constantly tell myself this. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that I share and I write, it's a lot of times making mental notes, and I go back and I listen to them, even to my own podcast. I listen back and I say, oh wow, it comes through you. Like, it doesn't come from me, it just comes through me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, again, that energy of the mind. But we so easily alluded to illusions, man. Even myself, and we gotta be careful. Even when it comes to truth and lies, man, I'm like, wow, there's such a thin line. When they say, it's a thin line between love and hate. Well, it's a thin line between truth and lies. It's a thin line between reality, right, and illusion. It's a thin line connecting to the source, or doctrine and dogma, right? There's a thin line between love and grief. It's a thin line between pleasure and guilt. It's a very thin line. And that's why in Sirat al-Mustaqim, in Islam and the Sufi, we like, you walk that thin line. You have to walk that thin line. You see the right side, you see the left side, but you have to walk in that balanced state of mind, that balanced thin line. They call it Mustaqim. Siratu Mustaqim. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of secrets hidden in the Quran. Just like there's a lot of secrets hidden in the New Testament. There's a lot of sacred teaching hidden in the Old Testament. It's just that we're so easily deceived. We just have to, it's a thin line. We have to, again, weigh it out. We got to find it, and we got to stay on the Siratul Mustaqim. If not, what they say, you get electrocuted or you fall by the wayside. Just total balancement. Anyway, that's all I wanted to really build on. I just want to say here 30 minutes. But it's interesting when I say it's a thin line. Yeah, Siratu Mustaqim, the filament, it's a thin line. So we easily can be swayed to one point to another point, that we have to be very careful. Truth. Oh, sorry. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it is. Bam, bam, bam. It's a little cool, a little corny. But anyway, I also want to do a couple of news report, but I want to do it on the YouTubers, you know what I'm saying, or what's happening. on that because we deal with the news, you deal with standard news, CNN, and all that. They always give you the bad news about what's happening. Now they got this monkeypox attacking that community, like the AIDS kid attacked it. You always had that. Before that, we had the covert thing going on, and so many things going on, and so I want to do a news, I don't know, like a newscasting, call it the YouTubers, the conscious YouTuber news. I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, make it entertainment. And I hope you're seeing that podcast I did about my rebuttal to and I mentioned his name, Jabari and Harut. Didn't mean anything, no disrespect and anything detrimental about it. But what I wanted to do is offer that rebuttal just to show a perspective, how easily we can be manipulated. See, I was guilty of that, but the manipulation wasn't so drastic. It didn't cause me to hate my brother. It didn't cause me to shut down my brother's communication, or it caused me to miscommunicate with my brother in any way. You know what I'm saying? However, on the other side, it caused a miscommunication, a detachment. A detachment from other people on the YouTube. So I'm going to speak about that a little more in depth because we have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it really matters because, hey, listen, they could shut down YouTube. What we're going to do? We're going to keep living, right? That's the way I look at it. We all have our family, we have our career, we have our work, our principles, especially our family. So this YouTube thing, it's just an added addition. They say, I do it for the family. What family? You're not really family, brother. No, we don't until we sit down, break bread in person. You know what I'm saying? And you care for me like I care for you. Family. Then we can say we rock as family, or we amalgamate to family or something. Somebody we know that's married to somebody. Then we say we're family. But on the YouTube, no such thing, man. No such thing. But however, I do have acquaintances that I met through YouTube that I consider them at some point family, because a human family, a tribe, a human family. And sometimes, family has certain principles and values that are in common. So, we have principles and values that are in common. So I would consider them to be my kin folks. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be careful when we throw the word family around. We really, really have to do. It becomes a little ungenuine. You know what I'm saying? A little ungenuine when you look at it. So be careful with that. And now as I sit back and I look at a lot of through YouTube, I see that there wasn't really any concern. There wasn't really no what they call love. There wasn't really no brotherly love there. So it wasn't only brotherly love when I was contributing, right? It's only brotherly love when you contribute money, or that's only that brotherly love. But the minute, if I was really your brother, and the minute you feel that I stepped out of bounds, then you have to approach me. You have to have that conversation with me. Brother, why do you do that? What's going on? What do you know what I'm saying? That's a true brother. But if you're just gonna act immature and silly, that's not true. So it just from the beginning, and even brother here, Bondo, even at one time that he kind of like pointed that out too. Why is it every time CeeLo's come into certain podcasts, well, there is none, they never propagate your channel. Then they just never really engage you. They always, you know what I'm saying? Something from the get-go wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to just move on. Move on. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with the views that I receive because I know that people are going to look at it and they're going to be like, oh, got a point. You know what I'm saying? And I just want people to, share it and want people to, to, again, I want it to be beneficial for your life. You know what I'm saying? At some point, so that we can level ourselves, level-headed ourselves. So I noticed that a lot also in the YouTube. There's always this postulating and also this perpetuation of beef. You know what I'm saying? And this is, again, a tactic to get views, cloud chasing, get views, and this is how, you got to call it like it is. Now, I do like, there is a channel that gets a lot of views that I like because he brings, good content and different things, even though some of it is kind of far-fetched. And that's Black, and a shout out to Black Magic 363. Brother Rich. I've spoken to Brother Rich before, emailed him, spoken to him before, contributed to some of the stuff that he's done before with Billy Carson, stuff like that, and contributed to the brother. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like co-sign on that because of the content. I mean, you don't see this bickering back and forth. It's he's a good interviewer, you know, and the content is great. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about interviewing, you know. But when you have other channels that it's about, debates are good, but debates should be organized. Debates are scholastically done. You know, that whole thing about debates come out of Yale and Harvard and NYU. You know, that's all. They got debate teams and stuff like that, and they're giving a principle. A lot of times, a book that they have to make reference to together. One side takes one view, and the other side takes another view of the same principle and book. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's done. You know what I'm saying? But I find that a lot of times, it's just attacking people's belief. And I just want to say shout out to Apostle. I went over there and checked him out. Tuned up his drums and checked him out and jammed with him a little and met his family. Very nice people. I made his wife, beautiful lady, great character. And I think the brother's misread. I think the brother's I don't know. I mean, he's an elder, but I think that a lot of times he's become, people don't see him for who he really is. You know what I'm saying? I think he's got so many signals going out. I'm gonna have a private conversation with him, but he's an elder. A lot of times you just gotta listen and you gotta hope that the elder, sees it from another perspective. Because my youth, if I see that there's a youth that has a perspective, because she pulled me out and says, "Hey, elder, I love you so much, man, but I want to bring something to your attention, if you don't mind. I want to bring something to your attention. This is like this, like that, like that." And by all means, I tell everybody, please, if there's something that I say or something that I do or say and you question about it, pull my coat. You can always approach me and say, "Hey, elder, whatever you choose to address me in a respectful way, and tell me, I seek to, maybe I don't, like, that's the way how I approach. I said, maybe at this point right now, I don't understand, what I'm saying? I just want a little more clarification on what you mean by this and this and that, because how I see it, see, that's how you introduce it. You see, how I see it and what I thought is like this, ba, 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 ba. But now I see that you're taking this side and you're taking this perspective, and I want to see it from that, because I want to think paradoxically. I want to be able to see it. What I'm saying? Why are you looking at it from that perspective? You know what I'm saying? That's how you engage in that conversation. Anyway, I'm out of here. All right, all them blessings, and I love you all.